Then LIU sitting back all the way in 6th. Then it's Stonehill, a 2-5-1 record. Wagner, Howard, and St. Francis of Brooklyn. The whistle blows and we're underway. And the Blue Devils off the jump. They had the ball to open today's game. And again, we thank you so much for joining us as the clock begins. St. Francis to get control of the ball. And a nice 2 p.m. start for today's Senior Day game. McLaughlin sends that one up the field. Intercepted, it looked like. That looked like it was Rory Schaefer. And it looks like Central with the intercept back there. And here comes Central. That's going to be Zoe McGlynn. Played over to Horgan. Can't get control over there. They'll boot it back to the keeper. Being Sarah McConnon as she sends it back out. St. Francis and CCSU, no matter what happens today, win or lose, guaranteed themselves a spot in that semifinal game. They have the first round bye. This one played off a defender. A smart move by Celia DeBracchi. Playing it off a St. Francis defender and then out of play. And that time it bounces off her foot and crosses the sideline. Mick Darcy in his 23rd season has secured a 5th straight regular season conference championship, and that is a huge, commendable effort for CCSU. Central, this being their final game, tied 1 apiece with Sacred Heart in their last game. The in-state rivalry, a hard-fought matchup down at Sacred Heart. Came away with no winners. However, that tie was enough to give them the boost they needed to a first-round bye in the tournament. Throw-in coming here. As the game marches on, 42 minutes is what we've got left in this first half. So closing in on those first 3 minutes going by. St. Francis have the throw-in, and they lob it a little too hard. Played back. Now into the box. Looks like that was Seven who had it. That was Tomka Ziasiadi. Ziasiadi had the opportunity in the middle of the box. Could not get there. Played back to St. Francis. They are defending in their own box, but they let the ball roll back over to the keeper. That will evaporate the chance for Central. Played over and back. And that one poked forward to Horgan. Aoife Horgan racing for it down there in the corner. Tried to get a nice cross, was deflected and booted away. Toss goes in. And for CCSU, this has been a very interesting season. They got that 5th straight regular season title. Now trying to make it 5 straight postseason titles with their official run at that starting November 3rd. So it'll be just next month, or actually really more so just a few days away. Playing down to that end line. Ball ran across, and we will get a goal kick for St. Francis. Don't forget the 29th, that is Saturday. CCSU will host Wagner for football. Will be an interesting evening. Well, an interesting afternoon out at a route. Sounds played out of bounds. The 29th, women's volleyball at LIU. Men's soccer at St. Francis of Brooklyn on the 30th. Men's soccer in action on the 3rd. And that will be them taking on Sacred Heart right here at home. Again on the 3rd. The tournament will begin for Central Connecticut State University's men's team. Women's soccer will play that day at 1 o'clock. And the following day, volleyball will be on the road at Stonehill University. For St. Francis, they try to move the ball. Central, down in their own zone. They clear it out. Now booted along. McLaughlin out there on the defensive. St. Fran playing it through. It'll be intercepted. Now it's up to Dorman, who put it forward and out of play. Blue Devils trying to finish the season on a high note ahead of the tournament. If they can get a win, they'll break a 2 straight game tie streak that they're on. Blue Devils entering this contest undefeated in conference play. 6-0-2. That one's up in front. Central trying to keep it that way. Maybe improve to 9-0-2 in conference play. It would be 7-0-2. Sorry, they were 6-0-2 in conference play. Trying to improve to 7-0-2 in conference. 8-5-2 on the regular season. So if they win here tonight, it would be their 9th. Played briefly. Looks like that one was off the foot of Bella Pesh. That one played over to 30. That one was Corrine Renninger. St. Francis. They've got the tempo here, trying to get on a run against these Blue Devils. That one booted up. Will be played back. Central now on the move. So they set it up for, looks like that one was set up for Horgan. Horgan still tracking the ball. Renninger sets it over. Intercepted now by Zoe McGlynn. McGlynn, the through ball right to the other team. Saw Dorman on the defense there, was tracking. Couldn't quite get a stop on it. The defender from North Granby, Connecticut, Sydney Dorman. Here's the throw-in on the way. Tossed in and brought out. Bounces off of Savannah Schoonmaker. That one goes right through the legs of a defender. Horgan had a nice setup for McGlynn. Now McLaughlin into the corner. Setting up with it. McLaughlin in the box. McLaughlin back out to that corner where it's crossed up in front. Brought down in a collision with the keeper. Keeper's all right, though. Nothing will come of that one. McConnon has control. Sarah Butler, the head coach of the St. Francis women's team. St. Francis entering this game 7-8-1 on the regular season, 5-2-1 in NEC play. Not a bad record for the Red Flash. Throw in here. And the Red Flash looking to make something on the defensive. See if they can force a big turnover and get on a run with the ball. That one crosses the end line, and we'll see a goal kick coming for the Red Flash of St. Francis. McConnon ready to boot this one away. Here it comes. And that one played out. St. Francis will retain possession. So be on the high sideline, ready to throw this one back in. 33 minutes to go in the first half. Throw-in goes off the head of a central defender and out of play. St. Francis again retains. Another throw-in, but this time it was a little too fast. Goes right to the end line and back across. The sideline and back across. And Central now coming away with the ball. Blue Devils toss this one in play. It was booted up there by 11. That was Lindsay Stevenson throwing for the Red Flash. And if you're just joining us, we thank you so much for spending part of your Thursday afternoon with us here on NEC Front Row and the NEC On the Run app. My name is Jimmy Clark, voice of the Blue Devils. The crew running a little short-handed today. As a big opportunity in front of the box. Not going to go. St. Francis had a pretty good opportunity. Drew Mal's pulling double duty, or shall we say triple duty, producing, graphics, and camera work as well. There's Aaron Brown on the stats today, and Jeff Mead overseeing the operation here this afternoon. The corner goes in, header down, played towards the end line, and cleared by Christina Kelly. Throw-in goes in. So played down. Looks like to Dorman. Dorman got it off to Dabrocki. Dabrocki tries to play the ball forward where it will be taken away by Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker sent it off to McConnon. Interception here. And it's a good one by McGlynn. Now off to Horgan. Dorman stands in behind. So they play the defense on, that was Coletta Osby. Osbey. Trying a through ball here. What'll be taken away by Central. Playing down again to Dabrocki. Try to get out of the way. Red Flash have it right back. Central get it off a deflection. Horgan up the field. Through ball. Taken away and back and forth. Possession changes hands. St. Francis on the ball again. Small tumble for the ball. Central getting it across the midline. That one playing away. And that'll go out of play. Coach Mick Darcy down there on the sideline, commanding the troops. Trying to break this dead even 0-0 game. 29-28 to go in the first half. Throw-in is brought in and out. Christina Kelly set it across the sideline. Throw-in for St. Francis. That'll be, looks like it was Bella Pesh to send it in. And here comes Central on the run. Player down for St. Francis in the backfield. No stoppage coming up here. A deflection by St. Francis. Ball going across again. Player for St. Francis getting up slowly here. Walking it off. Looks like she'll be all right. Played in there. And Kelleher to come up with the ball. Megan Kelleher on the save. Well, not really a save. The ball rolled up to her. It was the kick out of the box. Roma McLaughlin trying to battle for it. She will get on the ball. Central. Downfield again. Horgan. Put that one into McGlynn. McGlynn to Dorman. Going to be taken away, and it was broken up by Osbey. Played out of bounds off of Central. St. Francis to get another throw-in coming here. Played out of bounds. A nice sunny Thursday afternoon here. You can see in the background of the field the trees changing color as fall still setting in here in Connecticut. Played in. Kelleher gets that one. Gloves it up. And a good save by Megan Kelleher. Kelleher's first start of the season. Played over now, Christina Kelly. Kelly back to McGlynn and now to Dorman. Dorman on the move. That one was booted to the center by Lindsay Stevenson. McLaughlin has it back now. Horgan, a little touch pass to McGlynn. McGlynn to the side. This one goes to Kelly. Christina Kelly tried to put that one through the middle. Couldn't quite. It was intercepted by Lauren Pyle. St. Francis on the run. Here's Pesh. Put it forward. It was a header away. Shot equivalent of a one-timer going wide. so now St. Francis on the ball. Horgan with the interception there. Back and forth of McLaughlin to McGlynn. Dorman, it's a little too hot to handle, and that one rolls out of play. Sub coming in, that'll be for St. Francis. 22 entering. That'll be Rain Corpix from Walnutport, Pennsylvania. She'll enter the game for number 7. That's Tomka Ziasietsi. Or sorry, it's Ziasieti. Here is Osbey. That one is out of play, but a throw-in coming here for the Red Flash. Off the head of Dorman. And it will assist Christina Kelly as it's played out by St. Francis from behind. Dorman for the throw-in. Dorman will toss it. St. Francis heads it back out. Dorman gets it again. Throws this time. A lot of open green space for Horgan. Tries a cutback. It is out of play. Throw-in coming for St. Francis. Here's the toss. It's on the way. And St. Francis trying to get it from their own zone. It is out of play, but it is a central possession. Throw-in, no, free kick will be coming here. This will be a free kick for Victoria Violette. This one played right to the keeper. Jumping stop by McConnon. McConnon will get this one out of the box. And a trio of blue and white shirts is there to intercept the ball. St. Francis will keep on it, though. It was played by Osbey. Through ball. Good stop being made. That was Delaney Lawler who gets between the ball and the offensive player. Play broken up by Horgan. Should get the ball back. Now to Kelly. Christina Kelly. Up the middle to Roma McLaughlin. McLaughlin now up the side. A good through ball. Can they get it in the box? They do. Little collision. Ball rolls out of play. A goal kick coming. This one played over. And now here's McLaughlin. McLaughlin over to Kelly. Here's Christina Kelly. To the box. Tries to pass to Horgan. Broken up. Still on it. McLaughlin. McLaughlin, a small cutback. Dorman. Setting it up from McGlynn. Tried to get it inside. It's whisked away by St. Francis. Corpix. Tried to go up the field there. Couldn't. Central again on the intercept. Horgan on the move. Here they come. This is Central with an opportunity. Down by the end line on the high side of the field. Horgan just outside the box. Beats one, beats two, shot, scores! Aoife Horgan, what a goal! Beats one, then two defenders, and lets one fire. And it is a 1-0 game on Senior Day. And the first goal of the afternoon with 19:37 to go in the half. Let's see if they can grab another one here. And what a goal for Aoife Horgan. 19:37 left in this first half. And that. And a great stop. Kickoff comes in. That one plays out. Central goes up early here in this final regular season contest. Played out of bounds. And here we go. Corner from St. Francis, booted away, and a good play by Christina Kelly. Played over. And now out of play. Well, not out of play, but out of reach for Central. Christina Kelly attempted the run. Now it goes now out of play. Late in this one, 18:15 to go here in this first half. And Central takes a lead by one. St. Francis readying a substitution. We'll see, I believe. We'll try and get a look at that jersey a little bit better. Gotta say, some of the numbers on these St. Francis jerseys hard to read, so if we end up getting some wrong in the heat of the play, we do apologize for that. It'll be 17 readying to come in. Paige Theobald will enter this game soon. Christina Kelly rolls it over to Aoife Horgan. Horgan with one, might be looking for two as she centers the ball. Horgan will now have to come back out to track the ball. Then she'll play it back across the midline. Central Connecticut controlling the ball here. Roma McLaughlin on the defensive. Good effort, but St. Francis continues to move with the ball. They now go high sideline. The red flash. Try to center it. Taken away by McLaughlin off a bad bounce. Here's Horgan. It is laid over to Kelly. Go out of play. In comes Theobald. We'll see who she enters for. She will enter for number 14. That'll be Claire Maiko. Maiko now. Eight coming in, getting ready to go for Central. That'll be Carly Schofield. Playing here is Schofield. No, she will remain on the sideline. They're going to elect to pass to the next one. Corner kick coming for Central. We'll see if they can set anything up off the set piece. 7 kicking again. That's Christina Kelly. Off the head there, but it's set up to the back. Shot! Oh, off the bottom of the crossbar. Here's the rebound chance. It is denied. No goal is waved by the refs. What an opportunity. Looks like that was off the hand of the keeper into the bottom of the crossbar where it bounces out. Great opportunity for Central, unable to capitalize. Blue Devils moving the ball now. St. Francis thanking their lucky stars after that one. I mean, that's goalie's best friend, the pipes. Moving, intercepted. Goalie's best friend's got to be the woodwork on the goal, and boy, was it just a few moments ago. Now coming into the game is Schofield, the forward freshman from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Played for Plymouth North ahead of this one. Out of the game is 16. That is Bridget Barrowman. Corner goes in, and this one not quite as successful as the last set piece from CCSU. Lawler tried to set it up to Horgan. Horgan does get it. McGlynn back to Horgan. Sent forward by Central. To Schofield. Schofield collides with 28, it looked like. Rory Schaefer out of Buffalo, New York. 8 ready to come in for St. Francis. That is going to be Ellie Aston from Leamington Spa, UK. A shot from way back there into the keeper's arms. 21 also ready to come in. That'll be Lauren Persichetti. Dorman to throw it in. Whistle blows here. And the subs coming in, and looks like we've got subs for Central as well. 14, that's Casey Rolfe, as well as 21 and 19. That's also going to include Gia Edwards and Ashley Wright. Very funny, Drew. Anyways, oh, here's the big play. Comes off the boot of, looked like that was Gia Edwards. This one laid off the back heel of what looked to be Edwards, trying to pass it back. Couldn't quite. 11 minutes to go now. 1-0 Central to score. Played back, and here's a big interception by Pesh. And St. Francis running down the sideline. Persichetti had it. St. Francis again moving the ball. Edwards on the rush. Edwards gets tripped up inadvertently. Not sure. We will see the free kick belong to St. Francis. I'm assuming they're saying that when Edwards came in and got tripped up, it was a tie up there. So that'll go against Gia Edwards. It was a good play to the ball by Edwards, but committed a little too long. Ends up getting tied up and draws the foul. Now playing back. Yepes trying to cover it. 9.5 minutes to go, and again, we thank you so much for joining us here on NEC Front Row and the NEC On the Run app. You're watching CCSU Women's Soccer, the regular season finale with St. Francis University, 1-0 Central after a goal coming off the boot of Aoife Horgan. A great move in the box she had around 1933 is what we had left. Or no, it was 1937 we had left in the first half. Had a great move to beat two defenders and rip a shot from about medium range in the box. Managed to find it and get to the back of the net. 22 moving the ball. That was Violette moving forward, where Central will just dump it out of the way. Renninger sends it forward now. And that goes out of play. Looks like we'll see a free kick for Central. Nope, throw-in. Throw-in on the way for the Blue Devils. And what has been a good start to this Senior Day contest. We'll see if they can keep that up through the remainder of the outing. It's going to be played out. Don't forget, Saturday you can watch on NEC Front Row and the NEC On the Run app. CCSU football takes on Wagner. Noon kickoff, that one. Again, that is Saturday afternoon at 12. That'll be right before the next week. Central go on the road to play LIU. Central cleared it out of play. Blue Devils are calling for a penalty real quick there. No avail. 7:35 to go here in this first half. And again, we thank you so much for joining us. Goes out of play, and they'll set it off to Kelleher for the goal kick. Kelleher drops it down. Stands right in the goalie box there and boots it over, or really rolls it over. So played a little too deep by Central. Edwards on the run after it, but Edwards won't be able to get there in time. That goes out of play. Good pressure by Central. 19 with a quick throw in, that being Ashley Wright, the midfield junior from Westport, Connecticut. The 2022 season coming to a close, 6:40 to go. Throw in here for Central. Be down in the deep corner. Toss goes in play. Working out. Big tip there by number 10. That's McGlynn. McGlynn forward. It's loose. Here's an opportunity. No, can't get to it fast enough. They play it back in the box. Another boot going wide. It's high and wide. Central with another opportunity to make this one a 2-goal game, and they just can't seem to aim it in. Can't quite dial that one in. High and away. goes out of play there. Blue Devils lead by a goal coming up on the 5-minute mark of the first half. A difference maker from Aoife Horgan. Horgan, the sophomore from Carey Ireland. Ugh. As I briefly forget how to pronounce countries. Here come the Blue Devils. They work it out. Playing is McGlynn. McGlynn with a lot of pressure. Out of play. St. Francis going to get the throw in. Pressure was being applied by number 20. That was Savannah Schoonmaker. Played back in where it goes right back to McGlynn. McGlynn has it stolen. Looks like that was Persichetti who had it. Boot from way back. Kelleher is on it. Grabs the save. Kelleher now trying to set up the pass or set up the kick. Sets it up right. Here's Edwards trying in after it. After Ashley Wright did not secure possession. Played back again. And here it is. That one went into Wright. Wright to Edwards. Edwards, a touch and go. Wright puts the boot on it where it is gloved away by McConnon. 3:10 is all we have left in this first half. Played over. It looks like Yepes is on the run. Defending. That one, clear. Awkwardly off the boot of Delaney Lawler. This time Central clears it all the way. McLaughlin sets it up to Edwards. Played off a few different people. That one booted away. Looked like that one just going out of play. Edwards again. Up in the air. Possession again going back and forth. No one really securing a definite attack or a definite charge down the field. Central's been applying the pressure for the majority of the half. And we'll see if that keeps up. Throw in. Minute 47 to go in this first half. Throw in coming by way of Sydney Dorman. Defender from North Granby. Picked up by St. Francis, and they play it back on their own third as we approach the final 60 seconds of this first half. Played over and across as that one goes over the sideline. St. Francis setting up for a throw-in with 1:15 to go. Throw-in goes off a defender and booted away.
Remaining in the half, 1 minute.
1 minute is all they've got left to play in this first half. And again, we thank you so much for joining us wherever you may be on this fine Thursday afternoon. Played down by the end line. Looks like that was Persichetti. Played over. Kelleher gets on it. 25 seconds to go. And the final 10 seconds begin of this half. That will be
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that will be all she wrote for this first half. 45 minutes in the books. And for the Blue Devils, St. Francis starts with the ball. Another 45 minutes of action is coming your way. Ball goes out of play. Throw in again. We thank you so much for joining us on this fine Thursday afternoon. Small breeze coming in. And thank you for joining us here on NEC Front Row and the NEC On The Run app for the regular season finale of the 2022 women's soccer season. Central up 1-0 entering this second half. It was Aoife Horgan who had scored the go-ahead. So far, Central looking to do a little bit more with that is Kylie Yepes. Down on the low corner sideline from the end line, boots it forward, header. Whistle blows, that might have been out of bounds. Potentially offsides. And now here we go. The boot. And that one goes out of play.
I got like 6 things going on at once, so it's tough.
Throw in for Central. Here we go. Played over. CCSU. Swan booted back towards the keeper, Caitlin Murphy, who has started every game this season for CCSU. Murphy out of Southbury, Connecticut. And here come the Blue Devils marching down there. St. Francis was looking for a handball. They didn't get it. Possessional swap. St. Francis will get the throw in here. It's been a delightful first half to watch, and we'll see if Central keeps that up here in the second half as they hold a 1-0 lead. Goal did not come until pretty later on in the first half. 19:37 was left. Aoife Horgan, the only goal to today so far. Central looking for 2. They do not want to exit the season with 3 straight ties on the year. So they've currently got 2 of those going for them. The game against FDU and the game against Sacred Heart back-to-back. And that was on a winning streak, a pretty large winning streak. Started on September 15th. The unbeaten streak still starts September 15th and is currently still going. It's a 6-game win streak and right now an 8-game unbeaten streak. That includes the 6 in-conference wins and the 2 ties. Still yet to be defeated since September. St. Francis on the run with it. Moving along is Central now. Aoife Horgan setting up on the high sideline again. Central with a guaranteed first-round bye. They will play in the semifinals. They were regular season champs in the box. Here's an opportunity. Pushed off, brought back. Little swerve move up in front, and it is saved by St. Francis. .40-20 is what we've got left in this one. Collision. Players getting up. Play it back. St. Francis moving again. And don't forget to tune in on Saturday, 12 noon. CCSU football takes on Wagner. That'll be at 12 o'clock Eastern here on NEC Front Row and the NEC On the Run app. Caitlin Murphy will kick that one. Play it out and sent. Picked up by Central, and they'll try to move it real quick. Sent forward by Zoe McGlynn, then Horgan. It'll be taken away by St. Francis. Let's see, that was Tomka Ziasiadi. Had control of the ball briefly. So now, that one's booted and out of play, crossing the end line. CCSU soccer will be back in action with a doubleheader on November 3rd. CCSU, the women's team, will play the winner of the NEC quarterfinal matchup. That'll be a semifinal game with a finals berth on the line. Then at 4:30, the men's team hits the pitch. They will take on Sacred Heart University. That will be a playoff game for them. Central Connecticut, the men's team, had a great stretch down the line at the end of the season. Stolen by CCSU, and now Zoe McGlynn's got it. McGlynn waiting patiently. Sets it back and high. This one goes up. CCSU on the high side. We'll get a look at the brackets for you. I'll break that down really quickly. Here comes St. Francis. They take a shot right to the chest of Murphy. CCSU sitting at the back of the pack in men's soccer. So CCSU will be in that semifinal spot, and then the potential to go to the championship. They will play the lowest remaining seed from the quarterfinal. Men's soccer. Still with game on the calendar. And I believe I was mistaken about that game with Sacred Heart being a playoff game. That will be, I believe, their regular season finale, at least for the home campaign. Sitting at 1-4-1 with 4 points in conference. Men's team trying to claw their way in quite late to the playoff picture. Yepes. Send it in now. Going up top with it. Coming down. That one's played over. Yepes tried to get it away. And a run. Oh, nearly. Great stop by Central. CCSU stopping what was a pretty great run for St. Francis. What could have been a big scoring opportunity. Here's a through ball. Looks like Renninger is on it for St. Francis. Gets it over to McConnon. Makes the stop. And that one is booted away. This one's tossed in. And booted out of play. And here it comes. Up in front, St. Francis, another great deflection up in front by CCSU, then put away. And the defensive effort of Central Connecticut State University is fantastic. I think that was 17 who got in the way. To keep our eyes out. Trying to force their way in there again is St. Francis. Going to be stolen. And Central will move the ball. Stolen again by St. Francis. The pressure is on. Whistle blows. On that first volley, that was Delaney Lawler who got in there and broke up a really good shot by St. Francis. Booted away. Towards the middle. Central trying to move it here. Ball went back to Yepes. It's a cross. Here's a good rebound opportunity. It goes high, but it is also wide. And Central will again clear that one out of play. 22 set to come on. This will be Rain Korpix. Korpix again back in the game. Comes in for 27. That is coming in for Rita Kenziora. So Kenziora out of the game. St. Francis looking like a totally different team here in this second half. Very advantageous, but CCSU standing tall on the defensive and doing their jobs well. Central has stayed on the defensive. Not as many offensive opportunities as we saw for them in the first half, but here in the second half, they're playing quite well on the defensive. 17 will come in for the red flash. This will be Paige Theobald again. Theobald enters for number 14. That's Claire Mico. Here is St. Francis again on the charge, 29-20 to go as we're a little bit more than 15 minutes into this second half. St. Francis still trailing by one, trying to find the great equalizer. Played to the low corner of the field. And booted right to Mick Darcy, will make the one-handed catch off the hop. Something Yankees defenders couldn't do this ALCS.
Wow.
Tough crowd. Wow.
What a low blow. I love it.
Here's CCSU on the move. This one going over to Sydney Dorman. Played back again to Victoria Violette and booted across the line. Whistle blowing here. Throw in for Central. Blue Devils trying to get the ball just simply out of their third of the field. And if they can do that, they can try and strike at a second goal and put some insurance on this season finale. Here comes Central, starting to get things going defensively, well, offensively, still in their own third. They booted across the midline to where it will go out of play, and St. Francis has the opportunity. And that one goes out of play. St. Francis on it again. St. Francis throwing it. Central is there with a header. Nice clear. Shielding the ball now. And a handball coming in. Handball called for. Just an unfortunate bounce. Nothing intentional there. Not sure what that was all about. Drew, would you be able to enlighten us?
I think the coach said that that wasn't the first handball of the match.
Ah.
And the ref reiterated that, well, that's the first one he's seen.
Gotcha.
Actually saw.
That would make some sense. Either way, Central back across the midline. Big thank you to Drew Mouse pulling triple duty today. Camera, graphics, and production. And then Aaron Brown on the stats and Jeff Mead overseeing the broadcast crew today. Laid across the end line, and with 25-20 to go in the second half. And Central readying substitutions. 3 and 21 will enter this game. That'll be Aaron Sutter as well as Gia Edwards. Sutter and Edwards will enter the contest. St. Francis on the move. St. Francis shot going high and wide, and in come the subs. Rollover goal kick. Now to Edwards. Edwards up high. Getting control of the ball here to Yepes. Yepes will keep it across the sideline. Edwards passes back. I think they're going to say a deflection off of St. Francis. It is a Central throw-in. Yepes trying to rally the troops and get something going on that small throw in there. Now out of play again. Central continuing to maintain possession. 2 subs for St. Francis. This is the breeze comes in a little bit harder. And the shade encroaches on the field of play. Played over. Yepes clears it, gets tripped up a little bit, but either way, that goes out of play. Subs here for St. Francis. 27 as well as 14. Claire Maiko, as well as number 27, Rita Kenziora. Corner for St. Francis. It's a low line drive kick. And here comes Central on a big opportunity. Tracking the ball to the end line, and the through ball. Not quite as good. That one out of play on St. Francis, and this will be a corner for CCSU. Opportunity for the Blue Devils here. They had one big set piece back in the first half, and that one allowed themselves to get right under the crossbar. Horgan is going to put this one in play. We see Edwards working high sideline. Team packing the near post. Here's the boot. And on the near post again. cleared away. The rebound shot opportunity is deflected. St. Francis on the ball. Central deflects, and it's a goal kick. Central with a little deflection there. That came awfully late. Setting up now. CCSU on the defensive again. 20 and a half minutes to go in tonight's game, and we thank you so much for joining us. It's been an excellent contest to watch. If you're just tuning in, it was Aoife Horgan in the first half who scored that first goal of the evening, gave a 1-0 advantage to Central. Earlier in the half, we saw St. Francis applying a lot of pressure, and just a few moments ago, Central had a set piece. Brief summary of what has happened so far, the important events that have happened thus far. Megan Kelleher got the start here on Senior Day. It was her first start of the season. Plays a shutout half of soccer. And now Caitlin Murphy started the second half for the Blue Devils. St. Francis really turned it on here in the second half, trying to get on the board. And here is CCSU. Blue Devils on the run at the moment. Booting it across. Now up to the higher side of the field. Going low again, trying to reach Yepes. Goes back off the heel. Diving pass by Yepes. A deflection there, and it was a good play from Kylie Yepes to keep the ball away from St. Francis. Just simply good play all around. Here comes CCSU. Here's Horgan. Going to be set off to Victoria Violette. $17:40 to go. St. Francis on the run. They're moving up the field. High sideline. The red flash. Collision. It's going to be taken back here. Whistle blows. And possession goes back to Central. Sub setting up for the Blue Devils. That'll be Charlotte Simmons. Defender, sophomore from Jamestown, Rhode Island. Played for North Kingstown before Central.
Beautiful area out there.
And for Rhode Island, I believe their state championships are coming up. And I believe North Kingstown is a team that may be in the running. And that'll be, I believe, the 12th. And
Only so many towns in that state.
oh, yeah. Well, we know this because one broadcaster is going to be there for those state championships.
Nice.
Looking forward to seeing Cranston Stadium lit up for the nightcap of those state championships. Yeah. Games starting in the morning. I don't even think they're going to do a nightcap. I think it's all morning to afternoon stuff they've got going on. But that should be a good one on NFHS Network for high school sports. Central trying to get it moving again. Blue Devils on the run here. And that will be a penalty here. Whistle blows, stoppage in the clock. We may see either a booking. Wait, here comes the ref. He's coming down. Whoa. Uh-oh. And we're going to see a booking, I think, on the coach. This will be a booking to the head coach of St. Francis getting booked. Not the first time we have seen this over the past 3 games. So we saw this 2 games ago when FDU was here. It was the last home game, I believe, for CCSU. Not only was it a yellow card against the coach, but we also ended up seeing an ejection in that contest. It was part of a doubleheader. The men's team came on before then, captured a win. CCSU would then play FDU, and FDU would leave with a tie. Of course, the head coach was ejected from that contest. And of course, head coach for FDU, of course. Horn sounds, 7 and 13 coming in. That is going to be Tomka Ziasiadi coming in, and I believe it was also 12, Ava Parody from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Ziasiadi coming out of Germany to play for St. Francis. Of course, Central with 3 international students, and they're all from Ireland. And Central on the move. 14 minutes to go. Edwards up the field. Playing back. And that one is going to be played out of bounds. 13:48 to go. Season wrapping up here as this is the last contest of the regular season. It'll be their last contest until November the 3rd, where they will then again be playing in that semifinal where they are, after this, even if they don't come out of tonight with a win, they're still 2 wins away from capturing a record 5th consecutive conference championship. And of course, for Coach Mick Darcy in his 23rd season, he has turned CCSU women's soccer into a conference championship factory. Save by Caitlin Murphy. And I think, one has to think with success on the level that Coach Darcy has provided for Central, one would have to imagine he's not going anywhere anytime soon from CCSU.
Let's say he retires a Blue Devil.
Just such a high quality product of soccer that has come out of this program over the past decade, really. And if not longer, well, we could say 2 decades and 3 years. Is just incredible. They've turned Central into a powerhouse, which includes a national tournament win. Not the championship, but a win in the national tournament. It was a big upset in the first round. Got through to the second round of the playoffs. And it is usually not something expected out of smaller schools like Central, but they have really turned college women's soccer, at least in the New England area, on its head more than a few times. CCSU trying to get back on the move. 7 will move in for Central. She will come in. That is Christina Kelly. She'll re-enter this game as here comes Central into the box. Little tie up there. Still on the ball. Now from outside the box, just high and wide on what would have been a great snipe. Looks like that came off the boot of number 3, Aaron Sutter. Would have been a phenomenal goal, and that arguably, with 11 minutes or so left, arguably would have put this game to bed. But the night is not over yet for women's soccer. Need to survive another 11 minutes with this lead to call it a win and call it a 9-victory season. Be their 7th in-conference victory. They'd go undefeated in conference play. The only blemishes on the record, if you could call them that, would be the 2 ties they had in the last 2 games. Speaking in conference play. Of course, took a few tough out-of-conference losses this season, but tough games, and some of them did produce very good results. CCSU a 2-0 win over Siena. Then go on to beat New Hampshire on the road 1-0. Some pretty tough opponents, resulting in some pretty hard-fought, well-earned victories, and molded this team into a top-of-the-tables club in the NEC. CCSU now on that high sideline, and even saying that CCSU, being a successful program, they did not steamroll the conference by any means. You look at this conference record, and you see some of the tougher games that they had to play with closer results. Games like LIU, Wagner coming out 1-0, St. Francis of Brooklyn, and then, of course, FDU and Sacred Heart coming out with 1-1 ties. Sort of speaks to the strength in the Northeast Conference. And of course, you look at how close the tables are coming into the final game. Central with a 1-point lead on Merrimack. Merrimack 6-2-1 at the end of their conference season with 19 points. If Central was to lose this game, they would only finish at the top of the tables by a single point. If they win this game, they finish ahead by only 3. So a very close, and if they were to tie this contest, they would come out ahead by 2. So still a very close race at the end of the season for the top spot in the conference. Central luckily had played their cards right this season, got a couple of ties, which was enough to clinch it before the final game, which I think any coach would say that's a successful season to clinch the number 1 seed coming in before the last game of the season. Down on the low sideline is St. Francis University. They try to move the ball up the field. It'll be taken away now by Delaney Lawler. Lawler sends it over to Murphy, and Murphy back over to Lawler. Now up to Yepes. Yepes tries to put it through. It is intercepted and kicked away by Schaefer. CCSU back on the ball in the circle. Right around midfield, trying to get it to Aoife Horgan. Gets beat to the ball by Rory Schaefer, the junior out of Buffalo, New York. Back into the box. Here's Horgan. She wants her second. Up in front, the setup, they score! And that's got to put this one away. A great goal for CCSU. A huge setup, a nice play along the goal line, and it's a 2-0 CCSU contest. Let's get a look at the replay one more time here. Take a look at who's got it. And now here's the play coming in. So moving again, and it's Aoife Horgan down here. The deflection back to Horgan now. We'll see who Horgan set that one up to. Not sure, but setup goes right across the goal line, directly to the back of the net. Awesome one-timer off the boot of Central.
Sorry that was such a long replay.
Yeah, and you can hear Drew apologizing for the length of the replay. We've had some technical difficulties today. A lot to do with internet connection and staying on the air through that. And just a unlucky day, Wi-Fi wise.
That was my fault because I didn't cut it enough.
It's all right, Drew. You're doing 8 different things today. I think we can cut you a break.
Not good enough for me.
2 subs getting ready for Central, 15 and 14. Casey Rolfe with Celia Dabrocki, and it looks like 19 as well. That's going to be Ashley Wright. Central up by 2, and with 6:40 to go, that should really be all she wrote today. Yepes down the low side, coming along the end line, looking for another great setup. Now at the end of the box, they come back with it, trip up. Refs are going to let that one go, and Central, not a huge fan of that call, drawing the ire of the crowd a little bit. But up 2-0 at the tail end of this contest. You can't complain about too much. It's been a very good game, and it was even for a good part of the second half, where it was 1-0 for quite a long time. And Aoife Horgan has really been the opportunist today, setting up with not only the first goal late in the second half, or about midway through the first half, setting up a great assist and goal here in the second half. Here come the subs for Central. A 4th sub as well. You'll see 20 enter as well. That'll be Sabrina Kraus, freshman from Farmington, Connecticut, here at the tail end of the season. And so for CCSU, it has been a good day at the office ahead of the postseason. And now back over towards 11. That's Lindsay Stevenson. Booted away. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in this one. We thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope you join us again on the 3rd, 1 and 4:30. 1 p.m. and 4:30. Very funny, Drew. Very funny. If you ever hear me laugh on a broadcast, it's always Drew's fault. It's the only thing I'll ever blame him for. Replays being too long, I got you. You told a joke.
I didn't even joke.
Yeah, oh, I could see it. Don't lie to me. Good times here at New Britain. In New Britain. Oh, thank you. 3:50 to go. Game almost over. Central ahead of the postseason. Should be able to enter the postseason at 9-5-2, 7-0-2 in conference play. The only 2 draws they had on the season came in conference. Every loss that they took was out of conference, and we'll see how they fare in the conference tournament. A lot of people like to say they look at the conference record and you can get a feel of the tournament mainly through how they finished in conference play, but personally I do not subscribe to that idea. I like to think that the conference tournament teams are a little bit of a different animal. We'll get to see something a little bit special for some of these teams. You know, these tournaments really bring out the magic in some teams, and thus is the way of college sports. A clear by the keeper with 2:50 to go. That was mighty close to being the 3rd goal of the afternoon for CCSU. Keeper beats Central to the ball just in time. Blue Devils with a step out in front. Brought it over to Ashley Wright, who couldn't hang on to the ball. being taken away by Lauren Pyle. Pyle up the high part of the pitch. And that will be out of play. Goal kick coming up. 24 entering the game. That's Alyssa Cruz, a freshman from Long Island, New York. 22 will come out. That is Victoria Violette done with the contest. And just a great game played by Central. Cruz will get the ball with 2:10 remaining in the contest. 2-0 Central here on a fine Thursday afternoon. It's been a good effort put forth by the Lady Blue Devils. 1:57 to go, and CCSU on their way to a victory, barring any miracles. St. Francis still not giving up the fight here. Cross up in front. It's deflected away and now cleared. Not out of the woods yet, though, as the red flash get it and immediately put it back in the box. Central's defense pinned, but not for too long. That one goes out of play. Free kick with a 1:10 to go. And we've got 1 minute.
1 minute left.
And 1 minute left in the game here.
1 minute remaining in the half. 1 minute.
Come on, Jeff. You gotta. Obviously.
And that one is played down to the low
Thinking about ice
sideline.
cream again.
And here is St. Francis in a mad minute dash to try and cut the lead in 2. Well, cut the lead in 1, really. We got him. We got him. Oh, a hard collision getting up
Sniper.
quite fast. 15 seconds to go. And that should be all she wrote. Thank you so much for watching here on NEC Front Row and the NEC On the Run app. And they'll let the clock run out here, going through the motions. Your final score, CCSU 2, St. Francis University 0. Blue Devils go to the playoffs and to the semifinals, 7-0-2 in conference play. They'll move straight to semis.